like publicity materials, or if that's something we create ourselves, I'm willing to take a stab at it, just so I have a nice image or something to.
Like the logo?
Yeah, just like the logo or things of that nature. Obviously, I don't want to.
I think there's a logo in the Google Drive.
Okay. I can. I'll follow up on that.
We've also been wanting a new one.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
For the Lakeland Players logo, not Lion King.
Well, either one, but just something that I can that looks nice. But I'm fairly good. I have Photoshop through my work machine, so I can probably come up with something.
I've seen some of your stuff.
So I'll get started on that. Basically, just so it's not Mike Armstrong inviting people to stuff. The Lakeland Players. That would be good for advertising purposes.
Yeah, on the audition notices, I know sometimes it gets missed. Make sure that the show dates are on it, not just the audition dates, but the show dates.
The times as well, because that's been an issue for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, on the audition
times.
Well, that and also the show days, because you have people being like, "Oh, I thought it's like."
We've had problems with
think
that.
we've done better
Sometimes
with that
we need
this
to make
season.
sure that
it's been much better, but
Because
it's
like
like,
the Facebook post wouldn't match the
a lot of
poster.
people see auditions. Oh, I'm on audition, but it never shows what the dates
We
are.
just bumped into
Yeah,
that
we
with
had that
Frozen
ourselves.
Junior.
Oh, yeah.
So that will be helpful, at least for our family. So I will keep that in mind. But really, that's all I have as well. So.
Awesome.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Will, do you have a report?
Everything is added into the drive. I'm going to start working on it, but currently I'm working on the next newsletter, which is going to include Double Wide and the Banquet.
Okay. All right. That was easy.
And the live stream should work. I'm getting it set up and should be ready.
We're doing a live stream?
Yeah, the awards show, yeah.
Oh,
I know.
Considering
Really?
Mike
Yeah.
and Stephanie Martin won't be here in person.
yeah.
If you're all interested in helping after we're done with this, I'm hoping to have a link that I can send everyone, and then we can start sending it to everyone on the directory, either through text message or email. And then if they choose to join, that's up to them.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Grant committee.
Okay. I'm going to stand and face this way to make sure everyone can hear what I'm saying. I sent a document out because I didn't want to print 40 different pages for everyone to get all fooded and wetted. But I'm basically going to give you the Cliff's Notes for people who remember what those are, as far as what I wrote. Our current operational budget is about $5,000 a year. That might even need to go up a little bit. Because I noticed the awards were about $500, and
a little bit
2 years
more.
ago they were about $200. So those increased significantly. But I also overestimated. But so operating with no shows, if we did nothing and just existed as a nonprofit social group, it would cost us about $5,000 a year to exist. With our upcoming season of 3 shows, a kids show at $6,000, a play at $2,500, and a musical at $8,000, our operating cost for the shows inclusive is $21,500. And if you heard our financial situation from our treasurer, that means it's a little bit more dire than what I wrote. Is if we don't break even this coming season, we're closed. So there are some things we can't do. Historically, the gap in our income has always been made up with the Renaissance Festival, because we made a significant amount of money with the Renaissance Festival, but due to the commitment that was required of membership that we didn't have, due to communication problems with the Renaissance Festival themselves, and due to what we saw as a large discrepancy between what the festival was making and what they were letting us have as far as our income, the board season and a half ago or so voted to get out of the Renaissance Festival. That is something a future board could look into getting back into. It's not like the door is shut. I don't know if it's viable for us, though, again, because of our small membership count. We don't have the people to cover everything. We would have to go in as a cooperative effort with other theaters or with PT4, as we had historically They don't seem very open to working with us for anything, but that's just something we could talk about. Another thing we could do is poker nights. That's something we've talked about, again, doing with PT4 as far as sharing the labor. It's 8 shifts of 2 people. 3 people would make it easier, but you only need 2 people per shift, 2 shifts per night, 4 nights a weekend, and on average we'd make about $5,000 a weekend doing that. So if we did that, and we could pull that off a couple times a year, that covers our operational costs and a little bit extra.
Have there been talks about that with PT4?
Yes, we've been talking with them about it for about 2 months and have gotten nowhere.
Okay.
Unless Mike has made a breakthrough that I don't know about. But last I heard is PT4 was saying they had problems staffing. We said we
Yeah.
would help, and nothing has happened.
Okay.
Now, one of the issues with that is because you have to get a license from the state of Michigan to do this fundraising because it's gambling. The people helping, the volunteers, need to be on the roll of that nonprofit to be able to volunteer for it.
So we would technically have to become
You'd have to
PT4
be
members.
Co-members.
Okay.
Which
Which
would work out.
90% of them are.
Right.
90% of us
already
that
are.
work it
Something we
already
could work
are.
out, but again, it has to be something that both leaders are willing to do.
Okay.
We could also do it ourselves, but that would require, filing, getting the permission, which isn't that hard. Other people do it. There's no reason why we can't. We just have to provide the paperwork proving that we're a nonprofit to the state of Michigan and get the license and go through all that.
Yeah,
So
like,
that's-
and then again, manning it.
Yeah,
Sure.
and
That's where we run
We
it.
would need, and it's from about 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. Sometimes it ends earlier than 2 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it
haven't
goes
been
right
there
till
to-
2 a.m.
yeah, but they're
And I
doing
can
2
tell you,
a.m.
if historically you have done the poker night, it used to be kind of tedious because they would do $1 chips. Like you'd say charity singles, you'd always have to go to the table and cash them out. They don't do that anymore. All you need is someone to do the spreadsheet, and you need somebody to change chips at the counter. Every hour you take what's called the rake. You get the money from the dealers. It's super easy.
Yeah, you have to follow the.
Most of
Now
the
you have to
time
follow
you're
the.
sitting.
You have to follow the dealer from table to table with the
Right.
with the.
So it's not even.
tips and
It's
stuff.
physically much less strenuous than the Renfest would be, which was 8 hours of standing on your feet in no
Schlepping
air
beer.
conditioning,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
outside, exposed to bees and people. So that's another avenue that we should probably look at. Something else, and these are all ideas I've come up with. I'd like the board not necessarily to decide now, but it's something to think about for the next meeting, and we can talk about where we want to focus on for next season. Program ads. Currently, we are very reasonably priced. We can look at upping our price for programs. We could also consider seasonal program ads. So instead of selling one ad for one show, we could sell, hey, if this ad's $15, but for $45, you get your ad in our program for every single show that we're doing.
Right, and then only do that, and do inserts for the shows, which would also take our cost for programs way down.
Which would help immensely for the shows to cover, because historically shows relied on actors to go out and sell ads, which no one does anymore. Either through aversion to wanting to do so, or just from more local businesses being less willing to do that. I don't know which one that is, but either way, we could pay for our programs, which are, I put in here, I think for a double wide it costs about $300 for 200 programs. So that's, if you calculate that by how many ads we would need to sell, it's about 20 odd ads, depending on what size ad you're selling. That's not an undoable number, but again, it's something that we need to focus on and actually get it done to help those productions out. And $300 doesn't sound like a lot if you're talking about the musical, which has a budget of $800. But when you're talking about the play, which has a budget of $2,500, that's about 10% of their operating budget. So any little bit helps.
Yeah, and that was, and the thought that bring up at the next board meeting was to do the seasonal program, so we would only make like 400 or 500 programs, and then each show would just have an insert. So instead of spending $300 on 200 programs that we only needed 68 for, we would spend $400 or $500 for programs for the whole season, and then just do inserts with the cast information in it, and then we can do those by the hundreds or whatever.
That's a great idea.
Really
And the program would be
inexpensive.
consistent throughout the season.
Would be, so then you could sell
It
your.
might be too many instances.
Well, no, because we would make
We've already
it.
got 2.
No, it would be actually a part of the program. It just wouldn't get put together until you did the show. So it wouldn't be loose. You would do your program with your advertisements, however many pages that is, and then the show portion of it would just be a page or 2 pages. And we don't need 59 lines on a thing. It could just basically be who's in it and who did it. But you don't fold them and put them together until you do the show. So you have the open program and you set the insert in and you staple them together and fold them for that particular show. And then the only insert, yes, we already got
I got a stapler too. So
we got one because we did that because we put them together ourselves, which also was cheaper.
Yeah, that
too.
takes a lot.
So if we are just buying basically the program parts and then putting the inserts in and stapling them and folding them, but only do 100 for each show,
Yeah.
and print them in black and white, but we can spend a little more and make the cover and the advertising a little bit nicer.
It's easier to say we need to assemble 50 more, but
Yes.
better to do that than say we printed 150 we don't need and we paid for them.
And we pay for those.
And we can't use
And
those the next show.
We can't use them again. So we'd use them for
Yeah.
the whole season and just put in the show stuff
I like that. We'll have
as
to-
the show goes. So something to talk about.
And something I'm going to throw out there, we did used to have a program chair back when we had a board of 12 or so people. We're not quite at that level yet, but it's something to think about as we go on. If we have someone who's willing to do that, maybe we have a program chair who's able to help us keep that consistency from show to show, because that's something that's been lacking as well. Next thing we started doing with the last show or two was sponsorship levels, which is again another historical thing that we've brought back to life. Levels of $50, $150, and $300. Even with the soft launch we had of that, we've raised over $1,000 just with that level of sponsorship. So that's going to be something we're going to be putting more into effect. We're going to play that up definitely more. And everyone, if you submit as a sponsorship, you get your name in the program, which would be very easy if we printed the programs for every show, and on the website as well. Something we can't do is a 50-50 raffle. But maybe with the new pastor might not care like Pastor Jack cared. I don't know if it was a Central United Methodist rule or a Pastor Jack rule. So something we could find out is, can we do 50-50 raffles at our shows? So that's something we could look into, but something else we can look into is a raffle that is not necessarily tied to the production. An annual raffle, which is depending on how many tickets you sell and what you set the prize levels for, we could raise a few $1,000s a year doing that. But again, that relies on we have to sell those tickets to make that money, otherwise we'd be losing.
Whatever we use
would be
for the
required to give out the prize
baskets.
money that we told the state
Yeah.
that we had. So if we don't sell enough tickets to cover that, we're kind of hosed. But it's something, it's easy, relatively speaking, once you get the tickets sold. And it's another good way of just another $3,000 to $5,000 we can raise to help out with operational costs. Something else we can do, I've seen other theaters do, is a holiday/Christmas mailer, kind of like Stage Door, but only for public, is to send it to all of our patrons. Hey, this is Lakeland Players, happy holidays, this is what we've done, this is what we're doing. And inside that mailer is a little return envelope with a donation slip in case they're feeling giving, which a lot of people are in the holiday season. And not necessarily, hey, send us money, but it's in there for them to see, and if they so feel like sending it to us.
Definitely need to cultivate mailing addresses.
Yes.
And get away from, email addresses.
Yes.
We need to really, really start cultivating mailing addresses.
Yeah. Something else we can do, cabaret improv nights, something we can do at various venues. Some venues seem interested in having talent to bring people in. We might not have to pay to use them. And that could be a viable fundraiser. We had a good response at our super duper improv night last season because we weren't planning on doing it. So it was improv. But the audience response was fantastic, and if we could plan to do that ahead of time, really publicize it, and put us out there, one, that helps with publicity, because that's Lakeland players going out to different areas of Waterford, Keego Harbor, White Lake, and hopefully raising some money at the same time. And there are a few core members who I know who would be interested in doing it. And you only need four or five, depending on how you want to set it up. Another thing Lakeland Players has done in the past, which we can revive, I think now with Ludus, is season tickets, which would be much more viable now than before when we were doing everything with pencil and paper. We could sell season tickets instead of saying, hey, buy one ticket now. When we announce our season, have a link to buy season tickets. And one that helps us, again, helps the individual productions with their tickets goals. Because I'll go back over this just to, not to scare anybody, but so the kids show, Lion King Jr., to break even, the minimum attendance has to be 400 paying patrons. For the play, it's 167. And this is assuming the full budget is spent.
Is actually used. Yeah.
Which we almost never do, but we're just for math. The musical would be 445 paying patrons. Sounds doable, but we actually, last season, 0 shows made money. A couple got close to breaking even, and if we played our math game, we could make it look like they got really close to breaking even, but realistically, no one came close to breaking even.
Yeah.
So that's another ticket that the production doesn't have to worry about selling because it was sold before the season even started. Whether or not the person decides to come to that show, they've bought the season ticket, one, to help support us, and then it kind of gives them more of an incentive to come see the show, even if
bring other
even if
people
it was a
with
show
them.
they weren't necessarily going to see.
Will has his hand up back there.
Yeah.
Just-
I actually talked to Tim Wheeling about that when I was recording one of their shows, suggesting a group season pass that they could get it for both groups.
That would
They sounded open to it.
Well, it sounded open to poker night too. That would require a lot more work, but yeah,
Just as an option.
we thought of doing something with multiple theaters of, hey, maybe have some sort of a passport of if you go to every theater show or whatever, maybe to have a party at the end that all the theaters throw for everyone who got to do that. But well, yeah,
With the season ticket, will Ludus allow you to, let's say you bought a season ticket for opening night of each show. Will Ludus allow you to change that and say, no, I can't come
The
opening
season
night?
ticket would just literally be for a show. It's not for a
you
specific
choose.
day.
It could
yeah,
be
you would
any
get a
show.
code, and then you decide when you want to go, and then you put in your code, and it basically charges you $0 for that ticket.
Oh,
To
okay.
transfer, let's say you bought the ticket 3 weeks before for opening night, and all of a sudden you can't go, you can transfer.
Oh,
You can
okay.
absolutely
Yeah.
transfer.
Yeah.
But the
if there's
season
a
ticket
problem-
would be for just for the show, not for specific days.
They'd have to pay.
One ticket.
It's one ticket.
Yeah. If you
One
want to
ticket
come
per show.
multiple, then you gotta
We're
pay.
not doing the golden ticket thing,
No.
but yeah, I appreciate that. Almost last but not least, specific events such as a costume ball or a fancy dinner event. We could have a party themed with upcoming holidays such as Halloween, Valentine's Day, New Year's Eve. Have a higher price for admission, have a dinner, have a celebration, have music, and have that as a fundraiser so that members and patrons could both come and celebrate. And then last thing is there are grants that we can apply for. Most of them have been closed. I looked at the Michigan Arts and Culture Council. They have a grants program. They're all closed. I'm going to relook at that program for 2027. There is the National Endowment for the Arts. They have many different grants for specific projects. I have to look more into that because they're very picky about who they're giving money to, especially right now. And then lastly, there's a group called Arts Midwest, the GIG fund. That cycle is closed. I'm going to re-examine that one for 2027 as well. But there are some options for us. I don't know if it would help us with our operational costs or maybe for just one specific production, but any little bit helps. So, and again, if anyone is interested, one, in helping with any of those things, if any of those things sounded amazing to you, and the board later on decides that we want to focus on those things, I can obviously always use the help.
Let me ask this. One, I am very interested in a lot of the stuff you listed. But what would it take? It might take nothing. But like if we wanted to go to like various trunk or treats and have like Lakeland Players trunk or something like that, just to kind of get the
That's what I was saying.
name out
Farmers
there.
markets.
Yeah.
I think we need to get our
I don't think it
brand
costs anything
out
other than
there.
going out there.
Yeah, I
Our
just
church
you know
does
I
one,
just don't want to
so-
like do a like my church's trunk or treat, put the Lakeland Players name all over my trunk, and then have it come back and haunt us some way or
Right,
something like
and
that.
we do have a challenge
You
that we
know.
don't really have a home, like we
Yeah.
can't set up in a parking lot somewhere without permission. Maybe
Yeah,
the church wouldn't care.
Yeah,
But
so-
yeah, we definitely,
Big
I
parking lot.
wanted us to get out there too. Like
Okay.
Waterford has community events. Waterford
Yeah.
just had a Memorial Day parade. We should have been there.
Exactly. That was another one. I
Yeah, do
was
they have like book fairs? I mean, does the
Yeah.
library have events or something
Yeah.
that we could like set up tables and just, promote our
There are things we can sponsor. We sponsored a couple things with my church just because I paid for it, but I put Lakeland Players' name on it. It's just any little bit help.
Yeah, 'cause I think we need to get our name out there. And I don't know, but right now our website and our Facebook page sucks.
Luckily, we have a new publicity chair,
access to it.
Yeah.
and make sure. And I
No.
would say this again if Mike was here. Make sure Mike gives you access to all of that,
you
and
don't
he
think he
lets
does?
it
Never does.
go.
Oh.
Mike shouldn't have to worry about publicity anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And the good thing too, I don't know if you've ever been part of one, but with the Facebook group, I'm part of my church's one. You can have as many people on there putting stuff in and out. So, obviously, come to me or come to Mike, and we'll talk about if you're interested in doing sort of publicity sort of things, like a daily post or something like
Yeah,
that.
we need to like not
Yeah.
Mike, remove Mike.
Yeah,
If they
okay.
come to you, remove Mike.
Yeah, exactly.
But right now, like I said,
also-
there's hardly any information, new or old,
No,
out
but we
there.
also should go through the members on that group because there's a lot of people on there that aren't around anymore. They're not involved with us anymore.
Yeah, but I would err on the side of
Yeah.
leave them there
Yeah,
just in case
more
they
people,
get interested.
more eyes
Well,
on
I
it.
mean,
Yeah.
Oh, like gone.
Literally.
There
In
are
that
some
case,
ghost
so we'll make an
events.
exception
But
for them.
that's what I
But
got.
there's
That's
also
what I
people, like,
found.
leaving the state,
And so
like-
take the next month or so, think about all that. It's all written down in what I sent out to the board. And if you can't, it's a board document. If you have a problem with it, let me know.
Yeah,
But just process that, and we'll talk about it again at the next board meeting.
Well, I mean, we're doing one less show this season,
Yeah.
so it gives us
Yeah, and I
time
think we
to
also
do
need to reiterate
something extra like
our
that.
costs, because I think sometimes what the budgets for these musicals are is outrageous, in my opinion.
I agree.
We don't need a full band. We don't need, there's ways to cut back
Yeah.
on those costs. We don't need to be spending $8,000 to do a musical.
Yeah,
We
we
just
need to
don't.
be very
There's
realistic
no
about where we're at.
reason,
Yeah.
especially now. I mean, realistically, a play isn't going to cost us $25. There's no reason it costs us $25. There is an expense that we will have to make. I'm sure you're aware of this for, not necessarily for musicals because you don't use it, but for my straight play, we have no flats.
We have no flats.
We were just in there.
I
We're-
there's
made, like,
literally
8 of them.
15 flats in
No,
the back of the
there's
storage
not.
unit.
What?
Yeah,
There are.
I built them myself.
Yeah.
Well, when we were in there, I pulled the door. There was like a stack that was like about 4 or 5, but they were doors and braces. There was the 2 that we used for the end pieces. Those are the only ones I saw.
I'll go
We
take
have
a
to go
picture
check.
of every
'Cause,
flat.
yeah, we spent hours making them.
Yeah,
For
because
Fleming.
Every flat we built for Fleming is in that storage unit.
I didn't, like I said, I didn't notice it because that was my big worry. Is I was thinking, oh my god, I'm going to have to, because I need like 10 flats, and I didn't see them.
And you used most of them for
No, we didn't use any of them.
for Drop Dead.
Oh yeah, for Drop Dead, but that was after.
That was after
Okay.
Fleming. That was the ones we made.
Did I use-
I'll go take it.
Yeah, go take it. Yeah, because when we were in there, I didn't, like I said, I was all the way in the back, and that was the only, when I was pulling them out, there was the door flat, and then the other door, the old door flat was against the wall. I didn't see any flats. So I was missing them.
I was like,
I'm misremembering something, and I hope I am, but I do seem to remember we wanted to save like the door flat and such, but I seem to remember someone saying we could throw out the flat ones, just the regular.
The old flats that we had that were made out of 2x4s and quarter-inch plywood, we got rid of.
Yeah, and then we made new ones.
Okay.
Yeah, we built a whole series
like
of brand
12.
new flats because I had a set building workshop that no one showed up for to assemble those. So I know they're there.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I said,
But
Very good. Thank you, Sean. Thank you. We will keep pursuing that. All right. Awesome. Okay. Talk about Godspell. Well, the Godspell people aren't really here, so I guess we'll table that.
Well, just got people in it, but
Yeah.
not like not on
Not the producer,
and
director,
all
or
that.
anything. So, double wide, we tried our best, but nobody came. You know, it's that kind of thing. I think thinking about it, it's got to have a name that people recognize. I mean, the people that were there laughed their heads off. Of course, Cindy was, you know, walking a cabbage. But yeah, I mean, you know.
yeah, I also think it's the time of year. It's
Well,
way too late in
doing
the
a summer,
season.
doing a June show, that
That's
we
the
have
problem is
to.
we always do.
We have to think about that.
but we don't have to.
Well, we don't have to,
Right.
It's
You
too
start
but
getting
we've
late
always
in the
just
year
done it
to
the
do a
second,
show.
third weekend of June. It's
But
always been.
other than that, you know, it's funny. It's funny. Play reading. Oh, you know, we have to do that. Social chair, we got that. We have that fundraising we talked about. Okay, is there any other old business that we need to talk about or can wait till July? All right, on to new business then. We have the new ticket price, and the membership has to vote on that. So when people get here before, I think when we realize like everybody that's coming is here already, then we can take a vote on it. Other than that, is there anything else we need to bring up with the general membership that you can think of or know?
I don't think we can vote on the ticket price. Don't we have to announce it and then vote on it the
We had to
next?
vote for it last time.
Well,
No, but I
the
think she
board
needs to give a
voted.
time first, like bring it up and let them know that we're talking.
That's what I
forgot
thought
how
was
that
the
works.
purpose. Was to, I mean, I might be wrong, but I thought that we were supposed to let them know that this was what our thought
That's
was.
for
and then,
bylaws changes we do. I don't remember if the actual price of tickets is in the bylaws. I'd have to look.
Don't think it is, but I may be wrong.
Please hold.
it's spinning.
Your call is very important.
And also, we need to do a discussion, because Mike had this in bold, about directors taking part in the show. And that involves both Sean and myself. And it's not something you want to do.
Oh,
It was something that I will never do again, because if I didn't have
agree.
Cindy, I don't think we would have had a show. But it's when you don't get people to audition and you ask the cast, do you know of anybody? And Steve brought in Al, but we got nobody else.
Well, I think mostly what we need to do is we need to set a line or a bar and say, if you're at that point, then unfortunately you just have to scrub the show.
Yeah, I was going to say it's either that
you
or
know,
cancel the
it's
show.
hard on, I mean, the group to be able to do that, but in reality,
Yeah, if you don't,
If
well,
that's what
and
needs
and
to
it was like pajama game. They didn't get enough people out. to even- Okay, the Baranskis are here. Hi, Baranskis.
Okay. I'm like.
But think about it and let's have a good discussion.
I also
in the
think it
July
also
meeting.
depends on the part that you're
Yeah.
missing.
Yeah.
If it's a big lead part, then yeah, you might want to think twice. But if it's a small character part that comes on for a scene, but
Yeah.
it's like you got nobody.
Yeah, like for instance, I'd hate for us to have like a rule against it, and then like how Mike just sang in God's
See, I had a
Spell.
problem with that.
Okay.
I had a huge
Okay.
problem with that, and but that's another discussion.
so the ticket prices themselves are not in the bylaws. However, any transaction of business requiring a vote by the membership involving policies, ticket prices, and membership prices only, or bylaws shall be voted on by the membership with approval or disapproval based on the majority of response. Members shall be notified at least 2 weeks prior to any general or
Okay,
annual
yes, we
meeting
didn't do that.
where a
So
vote
you
on the
announce
bylaws,
it,
changes, or policies.
and then the-
So I would send out notice saying we're going to vote on this on the
At the
annual
kickoff.
kickoff.
Get the
Kick
kickoff
out.
party.
And
Yeah.
remind them that they will not be members at the annual kickoff unless they renew their membership.
That's the other thing that we
that's
need
the other
to talk
thing we need
about.
to, yeah.
Actually, speaking of new business, the issue, or not the issue, but I think we need to start doing yearly memberships, which might help us instead of seasonal. Mostly because like the people that joined on double wide pay their dues, and then at the end of double wide, it's the end of our season, and they're their $25 is no longer. So if we're going to raise the membership dues, I think we need to start doing it on a yearly basis so that because
Well, see, that's the other thing. All the other theater groups do the exact same thing. They don't change their membership.
Well,
Like,
yeah, they do.
Because
The
ones I've been a part of have
Pontiac
never-
Theater 4 is a year. Ridgedale, it's a yearly. It's a yearly membership.
It just has somebody to
It's a database. They put it in an
administer
Excel.
it and keep count of who.
It's an Excel
who-
spreadsheet.
Yeah.
But I'm just
shouldn't
saying
be.
that, or we need to figure out a way to charge someone less membership
Prorate it.
I think
prorate it for the last shows.
if we are going to raise the membership costs, I think that would be a good idea. But if we're going to keep them the way they are at, I don't know. I don't see the need to, because if we change it to, I see what you're saying. Even if we change it, like all memberships are due in January, then the fall membership is in the same trap, which right now is the late spring is. But
Yeah,
that
I mean-
requires somebody to track it.
Yeah, it requires someone to set up a database, an Excel spreadsheet
Yeah.
type thing that puts, that when the person pays their dues, that date gets in their system, and then you sort it and keep track of it. I mean, in reality, like I said, it saves for people, like I said, that joined in double wide, and then come to July, they're no longer members.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah.
So something that we'll bring
Yeah.
up and talk in our next.
Okay.
For these bylaw changes or the membership dues and such, make sure to email me about them. I'll put them in the newsletter that we want to bring up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because especially because I send it through mail, that was much more guaranteed to actually reach people ahead of time.
So we have membership. Are we thinking of
Yeah. At the
are
last
we
meeting.
thinking of upping the membership dues from 25 to
I know we talked about ticket prices, but we never talked about membership.
memberships?
We kind of hit on it at the last meeting when we were talking about
It was
in the
brief,
same
but
thing.
yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I just remember the ticket.
So
I don't remember
because
membership.
they're both
It
Karen
was the
brought
same
them both up at the same
conversation, yeah.
time. So
We didn't really talk about it in depth.
yeah, not in specific.
And then
We just agreed that we are very cheap and we
Yeah.
could raise.
Ticket.
Yeah, I just remember the tickets, not.
especially if it's annual, like you said, I think people would be more receptive
Yeah.
than joining and then, oh gee, I have to join again. I have to re-up and it's
Yeah,
2
yeah,
months
and
later.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, and this goes to Will. Alrighty. Ooh, we're just going wrong. Well, okay, just think about this director thing, I mean, canceling the show, or what are we gonna do, or, so we can have a real good discussion on that next month. Right, is there anything else people have under new business to bring up? We have a new light board, we have new mics, all of that is coming. It's here, light board, etc. Anything else? Any other new business?
No?
Oh, look at there. Okay. Well, we will officially adjourn the meeting
Do
at.
we need to set? Oh, I guess
the
we
next
know
meeting.
the next meeting.
The next meeting is July 19th. my sister's birthday.
Okay.
July 19th
We got that.
at 7 o'clock. Okay?
To adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Art.
Aye. All right, we are officially adjourned at 5:50. Thank you.
It's a new record.
Yeah.
I sent the board a text message with the link to the stream.
Was it the YouTube page?
Yes.
I got it already.
Well, I did put the live stream under unlisted
Ah, okay.
so
Is
that
it
not
19th
just
or
any
17th?
random
19th.
19th.
watch.
Okay.
I figured that would probably
Pro temp.
Cool.
Actually, the secretary.
All right, you need to help grabbing that stuff,
What
Barbara?
happened to this Steel Magnolias pen? It's floating.
got
I
it.
believe it was tracking the minutes.
Oh, the pen? Yes, I'm
Are
so
you
sorry.
done? You need to use this?
Yeah, I'm all set. Yep.
So wet.
Okay.
Yep.
I just want to keep it with the cards.
hear
Barbara,
everyone better just
I'll get
sing
those
over
typed
the
up and sent to Karen
headset than I
tonight.
could just
Yeah,
without the headset.
perfect. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Very good. People should be arriving, and we'll have fun.
You want me to take it?
Need help with your car?
Yeah, let's go get this stuff. No peeking.
Nope.
Unless you want to do it right in front of the stage. Okay. So I look for the thing.
haven't signed this, please do so. Okay, Mary wants to sign it. All right. Yeah, pass it around. A couple of things. At our next, the picnic will be our next membership meeting in August. We don't have a date yet, but watch for that. Watch for that. I'm sure we'll have it in the next newsletter, which have been amazing. Oh, hey, hi there. Two things. We're talking about raising the ticket price, and that needs a vote by the general membership. So think about that. Going to $20 for an adult, and what is seniors and students? 18?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either, but it's less. It's less. So think about that. And the other thing would be also raising the price of your membership, and that amount hasn't been set. So if you have any ideas about that, please bring them. And we're talking about doing it on an annual basis. So for example, if you join during double wide, you're only a member for 2 months, which is not a real good deal. But if with this way, you'll pay your membership, and then it'll be good until the next year at that time, which kind of makes a lot more sense. So be aware of that. So those things will be voted on at that time. Will is streaming our banquet. Thank you, Will. And it's
So far, so good. Mike and Stephanie are on watching the banquet right now.
Nice.
Well, Mike's present. I don't know if he's watching.
Yeah.
It's all right. The video's choppy enough that all they can do is hear us anyway.
Is there anything, general membership people? Sean is mugging for the camera.
Great. He's gonna watch me
Anything
eating
that
the whole
anybody
time.
needs to bring up, questions, comments, all of the above. I see those familiar faces. No. Everybody's just waiting to eat their Mexican food. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, be sure the card gets around and I get it back. I'll be calling Karen Jennifer.
Why is she gonna call Karen? Because Karen wants to come.
I'll be
And
calling Karen, she'll be coming, and after, you need to be aware, at 7 o'clock, they have karaoke.
yeah, so we gotta get out.
So, it might be a little weird.
Only if I
We'll
sing.
do our best, we'll do our best.
Get a little weird.
What did you say, dear? Talk about, and some of you might want to take part. Who knows? Okay, we're good? We're good? Be sure I get that card back, and please sign it
I already know what I want.
for
but
Mike.
why is it
That would be a lovely thing. Okay, very good.
We can do awards.
I would do it now.
Yeah, get out of the
Probably
way.
should before it gets
Get out of the way.
noisy.
But yeah, because we
Well,
gotta
then,
get going.
Yeah.
Can someone call Karen and tell her to get over here?
I did.
You
Oh,
I'm in constant.
I can move a table over here. It's bad.
We're going, instead of eating first and then doing awards, we're going to do awards first.
Classic quesadilla. Chicken. No.
Everybody sign this.
So producer and director for Shrek Jr. might want to get ready.
Yes, you're up first.
front row seat for karaoke if you so desire.
Are you ready, Mr. All in White?
Ready when everyone else is.
Okay. All right, I will look for their...
What are you doing?
Okay, Sean, the director of Shrek, will now announce the winners for that
I
show.
was not the director of Shrek,
Yes, Sean.
nor will I ever be the director.
What?
Project.
Huh?
Be a
All right.
theater person.
All right. Yeah, and I'm up front. We'll put you here.
Careful, Stephanie. You're gonna get reverb on yourself.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. What an amazing turnout we have had. Are we just jumping right in?
Sure.
All right.
Right in.
Hope you brought your floaties.
The director's award.
All right. We are going to, we'll start with the Director's Award. This pick, can I give hints before I say it?
Don't take too long because
All
we
right.
have to get done here by 7.
It really took a lot for, I'm not gonna lie, I collaborated with Steph on this award because she was like my music director, assistant director, and amongst the whole cast, I mean, it was hard to pick just one person. It really was. I mean, all of you guys, I know, kind of spread out across, but like all truly, and I mean this with everything, I say this with everything in my heart, you all deserved the award. And I wish I could just give it to everybody. But,
Stephanie fell.
You okay? She fell again.
Just hold me. Hold me.
okay.
She's falling and she can't get up.
No, so we picked one person, and we picked him because he was faced with, I think, the hardest thing any actor could face, and that's being cast in a role you didn't want. But he pulled through, and I think he did a fantastic job. Without saying his name, would you like to say anything? Okay. Do you have anything to say now?
What?
I'm gonna repeat. She said I would say the same stuff. And so, for the Director's Award for Shrek Jr., we awarded it to Anthony, who is not here to pick it up.
Producer's award.
Producer's Award.
And hopefully you won't take quite as long of an intro.
No, hopefully. All right. I do have 3 people I want to talk about, though. The third one being the person who got the award, because there were 2 runner-ups that were fantastic on the set of Shrek. One of them was Charlie Allender. Like, the moment those tech weeks started, he was there. He helped every single day, and we needed something done. He was there to do it. The second person I wish I could give an award to is Ann Slate, because I could not have produced the show as good as it was without her. Now, the person that I think did the most for the show, though, who deserves this award, he was there from the start of it, and he was there all the way to right before we opened that curtain, drilling that set together. Rob Green deserves this award. And he was even in the show on his own choice. He did a fantastic job. The show wouldn't be what it was without Rob Green, so we'll make sure to get this to him when we have the chance.
Okay. We're going to do the Cast and Crew Award
Yeah.
with a little bit shorter age.
A little bit shorter. Well, these ones I didn't pick, and so this is the first time I'm seeing who got these ones. So, Cast and Crew Award are, because there's two of them, right?
No, that's audience.
That's what I said. There's one audience award. There's two audience awards. This is the Cast and Crew Award. For those of you who don't know, this is where everybody in the cast and crew comes together and picks one person. Well, it's by vote. Anyway, the Cast and Crew Award for Shrek Jr., drum roll please, goes to Aiden Coe. Congratulations. Wait, Aiden.
We need a picture of the two of you together. Camera right here. Camera right here.
cord.
Yay!
Yes.
Okay, and
That way
now,
you don't have
now you have your audience.
Now it's the audience awards.
Oh, one more picture, Aiden.
There we go.
Beautiful.
Congratulations.
Yay!
All right. Now the two audience awards, which are where the audience picks the award. The first one is going to Caitlin Green. And the second and final of the Shrek Jr. Lakeland Players Audience Awards is going to Anna Baranski.
Oh, picture. Thank you. Picture.
Amazing job, everybody.
Our drama this year, Dancing at Lunasa. Director, Sean Pesky. Here's your director award.
Actually, I'd like to do the audience choice first. All right, I'm going to start with the Audience Choice Awards. Again, if you couldn't hear, audience votes for every production, and then our lucky vice president gets to tally all the votes for every production, and we find out who the audience's favorite two characters were on stage. So our first one is actually a new member to Lakeland Players. He's unfortunately not here, but it is Lucas Cruz. A second one is not a surprise to me at all, Denise Callis. Now, yeah, I'll do both. This show was an unfortunate rarity with Lakeland Players where the producer and the director were the same person, which should never happen. So if you ever hear of someone asking for help as a producer, maybe step in and help. Every little bit helps, and sometimes we don't leave with our sanity, and I'm included with that. So I'm going to start with the producer award. These awards were very hard for me, not just because I was two people at the same time, but also because of how much everyone did in that show for me. I was the producer, I was the director, I had to be in the show, I built the set, I designed the set, I designed the costumes, props. I was Wagner the whole way through. If that means anything to anybody, but except for how I treated the actors, hopefully. So everyone in the production, which was the cast, because there was no crew, really made it possible. But because they had no choice but to help me as much as they possibly could, the producer award goes to Michelle, who was with me for every set build night, for every set painting night, and for every prop painting night.
Yeah, I'm so high from the paint fumes.
There's a lot of black and white.
A lot of paint fumes. This way.
But your set did look really cool.
There you go.
The director award, I made a rare exception for myself, and I put 2 people on it. And again, the cast is stellar, and I wish I could give everybody the award, but I couldn't. But these 2 actors specifically, because they came when, again, we had not enough people for auditions for this show, which is why I was in it. I didn't want to be in it. I offered the role to somebody who didn't have time. But these 2 actors came to me and they said, if you can't find somebody, we will be in the show. And because of that, the show went on. So Mike and Karen Brody get the director award. Because without Mike and Karen Brody, dancing was canceled. Good timing, Karen. Come on down.
Mike's watching.
1, 2.
Is he coherent?
No.
Look over here.
I don't know how you're
Now.
going to do that one.
Well, here's the thing. I said there was no cast and crew award for this show because there was no crew to vote on. It was me. And I didn't want to be considered for this, but apparently the cast overruled me. So the cast and crew award, against my will, is going to me. I'll hand it to myself. Yeah, you are here.
Oh.
And thank you, all 5 of you who came to see it.
I enjoyed it multiple times. Sisters.
Yes. Come on in. Yes, sister. Come on.
Come on, sisters.
More?
Where are we going?
I got it.
Where are we going?
In between the 2 TVs.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Thank you very much.
I did pull out the Irish accent.
Karen,
for a minute during drinking habits.
you're up.
There were like a couple of lines where
Thank you, Sean. Okay, he started with the audience first, or you could start with the director first. It's up to you.
Well,
Alex got 2 of them.
yes, she did. How about that? Okay. Why don't you do those? But let me start with these 3. How's that?
All right, go ahead.
Okay. All right.
Godspell.
Yay. So I have just, I was waiting for your text that didn't come.
Well, somebody else said they did.
At the last second. I literally.
Yeah. Because I was busy.
Anyway, I bring a message from Mike here, who is home, not extremely coherent, but he is watching this. So, I mean, hi Mike, he's definitely watching. He's having a little trouble hearing everything, but so what he wanted to say about Godspell, and I think most of you know this, that he said he wants to thank Lakeland players for the opportunity to take a show from the category of cursed to blessed. Okay? It went from cursed to blessed. If there are any of you in the room that don't know what I'm talking about, God bless you. But the problem was that, of course, this show, Godspell, was supposed to be presented in 2020. And then a little thing like the pandemic hit, and that was the end of it. And but Mike, in fact, I have some notes here. He said when he thinks about retrospectively the whole ride for directing Godspell, almost everybody in the room knows that he's directed it about 6 different times. He's directed student groups, he's directed adult groups, 3 different community theater groups he's done this for. It is like our favorite show, right? And so he said here, each cast has been different, and he said, don't ever tell me that this show must be stereotypical. It can be done by one and all if you have the Spirit of God in your heart. That's what he wants everybody to know about the show. But again, that was before. Yep.
Oh,
it was before the morphine. But he said here it was a really, truly wonderful experience, and he's so glad we pulled it off. So now, going from there into the awards, the Director's Award, he said he wanted to give it to a person who came into every rehearsal willing to give 100% and inspired others in the cast to give the same. It was an honor to work with this person, and the Director's Award goes to Alex Spittle. So we will get that to her. Then, as the producer, hello, I'm the producer of Godspell, and I want to say that you reach out for help. Sean, I think as I was walking in, I heard you say, you don't want to do it all yourself. You need as much help, and it's a blessing again when a lot of you will step up and do something for any show. All the shows we do, we need the help, and so. As I reached out as the producer for that show, I reached out to an old friend who jumped back into our group and came to every rehearsal from the time he was on board, even when he didn't have to be there. He did everything we asked and about 7 times more. And we hope that this young man has decided to come back to Lakeland Players where he grew up, and I hope he stays. The producer award goes to Brandon Toncraig. And that is spelled wrong.
Oh, it is? Okay, she said, Brandon.
Yeah.
D-E-N.
D-O-N. And Toncraig, not Toneray. We're going to get it fixed.
You'll get it.
We'll get it fixed.
We'll get it fixed. Okay.
And then
You have audience awards.
I think you should give the audience awards.
Oh. Okay.
And you want me to do this one?
Yeah.
All right. Then we took a cast and crew vote, and you've talked about how important that is and how we respect each other. The cast and crew award, this kind of has a thematic to it, goes to Alex Spittle. Everybody saw. So those are hers.
Okay. Well, the audience, stay here.
Yeah. Oh.
Audience award, the first one goes to Lizzie Moen.
Hey, Lizzie.
Lizzie, yes. She's not here, we'll get that to her. And Karen Brody.
Love this show. I love this show.
And surprise, surprise, Double Wide, you have your plaques. Yes. I sweet talked Stacy and she got them done in less than a week.
Do you want me to give the producers?
Yeah, you can do that. Okay, we'll start with the Producers Award since the producer
I'm up here. I'm going to do
stepped
this.
in.
So, again, best wishes to Kathy Dallas, who is going to be producer for Double Wide, and I hope all is well with her. And so, I sort of got dragged by this woman. She said, "Could you possibly do this?" So I came back to produce, and same thing. Asked people. They came through. You knew some fantastic people that you brought in, and the Producers Award goes, the story's almost the same as what I just said about Brandon. Came to every rehearsal, didn't have to, did things that we never asked, thought up things that we didn't even think about needed to be done, and I mean, from putting the chairs away at the end of every rehearsal to just doing amazing amount of things. The Producers Award for Double Wide goes to John McLaren. And that's spelled wrong, too. Remember, M-A-C.
It's M-A-C?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Okay, going on to producer. Director's Award. Well, she should have just stayed up here because Karen Brody, you get this woman, she said, I'm getting burned out. I don't know if I can do a big role. I said, well, I got this little tiny role, but it's really good. And she was an amazing Starla. And also, she just, as the play went on, she took on more and more and became our producer, did a wonderful job.
Thank you. That's very sweet. Thank you.
Oh.
Do I have to put a new wall in?
Yes,
my house?
you may.
Wow. Mike, look. You wore my Starla bracelet.
Yeah, really. Okay. Audience. And the Cast and Crew Award goes to someone who I don't think Double Wide would have happened without. This woman did everything. She was there, she knew her stuff, she had all kinds of great ideas. The Cast and Crew Award goes to Cindy Hine. Get that chip in your mouth, because they're really good. Good job, Cindy. Feel that. Congratulations. And the audience award. If you saw the show, there was one actor who really went above and beyond and made a total fool of himself, and the audience loved it. The audience award goes to Ian Campbell. And I have to say, I don't know where the big red bra went. I have to return that.
Oh, I gave it to you.
Did you?
I promise. I wouldn't take that home.
Oh, get away from the table.
Thank you.
And like Sean, I feel a little weird doing this, but I kept all the votes. So if you want to count them yourself, you are more than able to do that. I don't mind at all because I got the other audience award. And again, it was because we didn't get enough people to audition, so both Mary, my assistant director, and myself, we both had to jump in and do parts. Okay. That's kind of embarrassing. Now for the biggest one, the Player of the Year. Oh, here comes Miss Diane. We got the big board updated.
Where is it?
It's right. It's right here.
That's it?
Yes, and we got the big board updated.
Oh,
So-
already?
Yeah, so she did that.
Okay. Well, I never thought I would win this, but I think this year's Player of the Year award goes to someone who we all knew would get it this year. We had plenty of wonderful candidates, and that's a good problem to have because if you don't have multiple people doing stuff like this, we wouldn't have survived this long. So I just want to say, we had wonderful people that deserve this. But in this case, though, this person did something that most people would never, ever consider doing. But we all knew if this person could do it, he could. We already talked about this a few awards ago, but he was our director, assistant director, producer, set designer, costume, set, build. Did I leave anything out? Sound. He was an actor. This was a really tough play to put on with normal circumstances. So the fact that he was able to pull this off and with humbleness, but with his usual brand of humor, we were all busy worrying about our own parts, but he didn't bring the cast down at all. And we are very grateful. Without all of this stuff being done by someone who we know could pull it off, we would have never, ever pulled it off. So it is my honor in a moment of, what's the word I'm looking for?
Reflection?
No.
Reverse. What is it when you see something before it happens? I've been thinking about this. Reverse deja vu. Because a year ago he was handing me this award. I am honored to pass it right back to my dear friend, Sean Keskis.
If anyone is in contact with award winners that were not here, please let me know so you can get them their award probably quicker than we will be able to do that. Okay? Thank you. We got done in plenty of time, so karaoke can start. Sean, I think we're going to have to create what was I going to say? A lifetime thing or a hall of fame for
There
people.
are a couple other awards we have not started up again.
Yeah,
There's a couple of policies.
yeah, we have to.
Let's put these little papers on these. So let's put,
Who do you want?
well, we want to fix this one.
Brian and Brandon.
It's Brandon Tonquet.
Okay, she said if anything was wrong, she would fix it.
Yeah, and there's John McLean.
Okay.
And was there another one that was wrong? Lizzie's is right, I think.
Lizzie, Alex.
We got multiples. Yeah, good. Congratulations on your award.
No. I'm counting out Tim. I think I'm going to win. And I said, I better save these because people might not believe I really won.
Hi, Stephanie. Hi, Stephanie.
Stephanie, I thought you were on the phone.
Hi. Hi. Hi.
I wrote it. I have my eyes on you. I'm gonna be in the back for something.
I mean, it's just going. It's live streaming.
It's James here. I thought you were recording it, and I was like, oh. We're not in the.
Here we go.
It looks like somebody recorded a video about you. What would you think of that?
How do you feel about that?
How do you feel about that?
How do you feel about that?
I'm a Cinderella actor. Okay.
How do you feel about being the
I'm the ball guy.
How do you think? How do you feel about being Sean? How do you feel? How do you feel about being Cinderella?
They're like the best.
How do you feel about being Cinderella?
How do you feel about being the ball guy before the ball
Holding him away, guys.
Yes. There's a little, it's actually, it's more teal, isn't it? This is pink, too.